Dynamite Comics made the news recently because of Image Comics leaving Diamond entirely, and Dynamite's one of those companies that actually has massive problems because of the whole Image Comics situation, which is interesting because they just relaunched a Thundercats series a little over a year ago, and it did really, really well. Had a Rob Liefeld cover that just went bonkers. I don't know how it's gone since then. It seemed to have fallen way off the radar on that level in terms of like the top 50 sales that they post on ICVU. But Diamond's really got a precarious situation because they're not Dynamite, because they do get distributed through Diamond and they do have debt from Diamond. And they are feeling the pinch like a lot of these other small publishers. We've covered IDW, we've covered Valiant, we've covered Antarctic Press, and just struggles that have been happening at these smaller publishers. And this is another one that is really feeling the pinch. We've got a bunch of news on this. But what's interesting right now is there's a situation where an artist claims that Dynamite stole his design for a Thundercats character and just used it for one of their covers, which is interesting, and there's not much recourse that can be done here either. We're going to get into this in just a moment because it's a weird situation of U.S. copyright law, but it's also kind of a tacky thing that's happening here. A lot of artists do just kind of lift stuff from other artists. This is something that happens a lot in the industry, and sometimes credit's given, sometimes it's not. But we'll get into this news because this is something weird with Thundercats and Dynamite going on that kind of might be an indicator of problems going on at the company as well because of these Diamond situations. So let's get into this. I am a independent comic writer myself, and my economics are going great. I appreciate you guys for being here because you have just really made this the best year of my career. It's been amazing. And you can sign up for my newsletter in the description below. Make sure you don't miss any of my new projects. I come out with 2 or 3 graphic novels a year, sometimes more. And it's a great place to be a fan of independent comics. I make my own books. I don't rely on licensing or anything like that. And I never rely on the mainstream either, which is great. I go directly to you. So sign up here. It's like a $50 value. You get 3 free books, including the full Flying Sparks graphic novel that launched my superhero universe. We have stuff coming in that universe very, very soon as well, waiting on some art for that. And then on top of it, you get a science fiction novel and a fantasy novel as well. And I've got a bunch coming on the novels level as well. If you're a novel reader, this is a great place to be. So very prolific over here, and thank you guys for being the best readers in all of comics. And I hope you'll join us. And I hope you'll start reading if you've not already. Thank you for connecting, and get on this in the description below. I've also got a web store if you want to support the channel and actually delve further into the works. Flying Sparks Volume 1's here. If you want 2 through 5 to finish the story there, that's on my web store as well. Thank you so much for reading, my friends. All right, so this is interesting because Dynamite's sort of lead here. He talked about Image Comics leaving Diamond distribution. He was asked, was it odd that Image was the first publisher to tell Diamond to stick it? And he said, who here has been divorced? How were the good years when you were married? They were good. One thing I could tell you is Eric Stevenson pushed Diamond a lot to make changes from the day DC left to the day Image left. I will say that Eric Stevenson went above and beyond to try to make it work. Image did not stick the knife in them because Image actually took it a little bit on the chin because they allowed retailers at Lunar basically to keep their Diamond discount and then gave Diamond a bigger discount to keep the retailers at their comfort level. The loyalty to Diamond was, let's make sure we keep Diamond alive, because I think Eric and people at Image saw it the same way. We need them to stick around. So Image did not twist a knife. Image tried to do everything that they could. I think the bankruptcy just became the straw that broke the camel's back on this level. He also said, I think Eric Larson was the most blunt person when it came to leaving. He said there are things that we're not going to talk about because it's the business sense for Image. And I think that Eric Larson kind of took it on the chin to say that this business sense for Image, but it was also business sense for the retailers. Very few people wanted Image to leave Diamond, including Image. And it takes 2 to make the relationship work. He also thinks Penguin Random House does a good job and Lunar does a really good job. They got Diamond to improve a few things. The one thing that Diamond was terrible with was communication. During the transition of warehouses closing down in Pittsburgh, I felt Diamond wasn't communicating enough, and that led to a bunch of disruptions for comics during the holidays, which hurt a lot of retailers even just with those disruptions. And then on the backside, where Diamond's not able to pay their bills, they're getting hit on the other level. So now Dynamite's definitely in trouble, and they're cutting costs, they're cutting corners. This is happening at the company. I've heard reports over there that they're really trying to cheap things out on their comics, which is going to go very, very badly for them because they rely only on licensed comics. They don't really have properties of their own that are going very well. And so because of that, they really have to make them go. And the only way to make these licensed properties go is to really do top-tier art, top-tier stories, and that's not what they're paying for at this juncture. And so it looks like this is already hitting because issue number 10 of Thundercats features this image, which is pretty, really nice art for this here. But what happens with this, right? And so this appears to have stolen a design by this guy Steve Wayne. You can see Thundercats metal he made this like metallic art of this character right here from Thundercats, and this definitely appears to be what's used on this cover. This is not her traditional cover. If you look at who she is, Cheetara, you can see what her actual normal costume looks like in Thundercats right here. So it's very much a spandexy, old school kind of design on the character versus what they have these days, right? And so this guy said, I just found out Cheetara metal design was used on a Thundercats cover from Dynamite Comics on either issue number 10 variant cover. The problem is they didn't ask me for permission to use it, didn't pay me or credit me for design. What should I do? Well, I'll answer you right now, Steve Wayne. You're out of luck. And you're out of luck for one simple reason. Now, if you would have made this character and made this design and changed it a little bit, maybe changed her hair, not put the Thundercats logo right here, and not put the Thundercats logo right here, and then said this was like Lady Cheetah or something like that, you would have been fine. And if they would have stolen that design at that point, you would have had a case against them. But because you put Thundercats all over it, including the logo like really on her chest right there, showing off that obviously this is a Thundercats character and you're making fan art of a Thundercats character, under U.S. copyright law, you don't actually own anything. Even though you made that design yourself, you made fan art without the permission of the copyright holder, and the copyright holder therefore actually can sue you because you did something without permission. Now, they probably are not going to sue you, but they own all images associated with Cheetara and Thundercats. They own it, and you get no recourse for that whatsoever. Now, it'd be nice if they credited you on this, and perhaps you can get yourself a little bit of a fame out of this and get a little bit out of it, because they clearly did take the design here, in my opinion. Looks like almost one for one. But because of that, that's about all you can get for it. You can get a little bit of attention and hopefully get some of your art seen, and that is all that you can get recourse-wise under U.S. copyright law. Now, a lot of people are talking about this. I actually commented on this here. If someone creates fan art of a copyrighted character, they do not own the design of that character. The copyright holder of the original character still owns the rights to the design. The copyright holder owns the rights to designs, even if the fan art is a unique interpretation, as fan art is considered a derivative work and requires permission from the original copyright owner to create and distribute commercially. So they technically own it. The minute you publish this online like this, Steve, they own this design, and it's just a sucky way that things open. Like I said, it would be nice if they credited you, but I think this artist probably just Googled Cheetara online and saw that image, saw it was pretty, and said, you know what, that was it, and probably didn't even think about it. It's probably, that's really the truth about it. Just assumed it was something from Thundercats history and not some unique design or anything like that, and just used it for this level. That is probably likely what happened here. I doubt it was malicious whatsoever. Now, I don't like this copyright law because this is clearly Stephen Wayne's design. He did it looks beautiful. I think he did a great work on this. It's kind of sad on that level, but here it is in what he says. So he says, my design was made long before Dynamite had the license. But again, that doesn't matter whether Dynamite has the license or not. Copyright law, whoever owns Thundercats is the one that owns it. And since they licensed out Thundercats, Dynamite has a right to use whatever is owned by that company. You don't own it regardless. And that's how it goes. Just because they don't own my design just because I called it Cheetara. Actually, they do, unfortunately. By that logic, Marvel can put a Peter Parker in a Batman suit and sell it as a Spider-Man redesign. And that's not true, because it would be a derivative of Batman right there. So he's arguing with somebody on the internet right here, but unfortunately he does not have a leg to stand on. He does say he's going to be lawyering up on this level, which is, even if that happens, that costs Dynamite. But again, this is just kind of lazy by the artist, whoever found this design and found this on this level. It's a little tacky on that level. But again, there's nothing he can do. But it does seem to be a bad sign because, again, Dynamite's already out there talking about problems with the distributor. Like I said, I hear there's troubles internally where they're cutting costs. I'm getting more information on that. I might do a video later. So stay tuned on that level. Interesting stuff on Thundercats, but with some lazy design on this, they probably went fast in order to cut corners, and that's another sign that there is some funding problems perhaps going on at Dynamite that's leading to this kind of thing. Interesting stuff. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Comic industry is in huge trouble, my friends. This Diamond bankruptcy is making huge waves, and people are not covering it enough. I'm surprised. Please sign up for my newsletter. Get in on the alternative to mainstream comics right here. Really appreciate you for being here, and we'll be back soon.